What is up, everyone? So I'm just doing some putting practice. I've got 4 discs set up from 18 feet to 21 feet to 24 feet to 27 feet, roughly between 18 and 28 feet. The idea is to just start at a close distance, get a good feel, and then continuously just work my way back. If I find myself struggling at a farther distance, I'll work on it for a little bit, and if I continue to struggle, I'll move back forward closer. For me, what I'm really needing to figure out is just a consistent follow through and routine with my putting. I used to try to, back in the old days when I first started, I was mimicking Paul McBeth's putt a lot, and then for some reason I lost consistency with that putting style, and I tried to do a straddle putt, and I was working on that for the past year or two, and I've decided it was working okay, but same thing, it just didn't feel like me, didn't feel comfortable, and I said, let me go back to what I was doing in the beginning, what felt normal. And so I went back to that staggered stance putt. Sometimes we like to put ourselves outside of the circle at circle's edge and practice putting, but like I said, it's a lot of times we're missing putts from that distance. So if we put ourselves a lot closer, then we can ensure that we're going to make the putt more often than not, and now we can focus more on what is our body doing, what is our hand doing, what are our legs doing, how is our follow through. And so I just kind of figured I'd set up the video, and if anyone's got any critiques or advice for my putting, that would be awesome to hear. So I keep missing from this 25-foot range, and that's kind of that in-between range, for at least for me, that from outside of that range, I feel like you're really putting a little bit more on it, and from inside that range, it's more like a tap-in. So it's like in that in-between range of where you got to commit, but make sure you're putting the right speed and tempo on the putt, and so I'm going to keep working from that area, that 21-foot or 25-foot range here. Whenever I make both of my putts, it lets me know I'm doing something right, but the idea is consistency. So I want to go back and see if I can make them both again, right? And we'll see what happens. So you can see I was missing quite a few in a row from there. Stuck with it, stayed committed. Really what I did is just slowed down and took a little more focus and a little bit more intention on my follow through. And the disc came out pretty good both that time. So I made 4 in a row now, and so that lets me know I'm doing something pretty consistent. So now I'm going to take it to the farthest distance that I have is about 28 feet, and just inside the circle, and see how these putts go. So something I'm noticing with my putt specifically for when I'm reaching down is I have to come down to a very specific spot, which is like the top of my right thigh. And by doing that, I end up staying nice and straight with my leg. But what I like to do just by like habit is come down more into like the center of my body. And when I do that, I end up either pulling the disc or short arming it because I'm trying to compensate for that angle. So I would suggest, if you're also finding that you're missing left or right, is think about maybe it's not your release as much as it's how you're coming down. So come down more straight to your leg and come straight up off your leg. So we'll try that. I guess the idea behind that is generally in a staggered stance, your lead leg is lined up with the pole of the basket, and so by coming down to your leg and coming out straight from your leg, you're going right at the pole, whereas if you're coming down into the center of your body, you're really off center of the pole, aren't you? So I'm going to go ahead and try that and come out of my leg more directly and straight out, and we'll see if that works for us.
I break concentration.
No. Boom! Look at that, nice. 364 more days after your hockey shot. I think I was helping up though. Alright, so you can see I'm kind of making one, missing the other low. So I've got what it takes to get there, but I'm showing that I'm not being able to do it consistently from this 28-foot range. So again, I'm going to, just like the 25-foot range when the same thing was happening, is I'm going to stick and work here for a little bit. I don't know, I feel like what happens when I miss low like that is I'm just putting weak. Like I'm just not putting enough oomph into it. So it just seems like something that should be so simple, right? Like you should just be able to sorry, a phone call came in. But you should just be able to put it right in there. But when you're not using all of your legs and you're not losing your leverage and you're not using all of your follow through, it's just not going to get there, and that's the case. So it's like, as much as we feel like we just want to walk up and it's just going to go in, we really got to put as much effort into one single putt as we do into one single drive or any other throw. So I can feel like I'm not even using my I'm like popping up straighter, almost like not using my weight in the right way. I'm not using that momentum forward. I'm kind of like popping up and almost coming backwards, and so I can feel that, and I'm going to keep working on that. Another thing that I do with my putting practice is if I miss, if I miss more than like 10 feet, I will always put that back in the basket, because now we're practicing our tap-ins and our missed putts and our close putts and things that, again, we like to try to hope that they're all just going to go in, but it's important to practice those close ones as well. So that first one I missed completely, and so I'm going to throw that one back in from there and we'll try again. So this is the grind. This is what we got to do to become better putters. So I'm clearly having a trouble with this distance, but that's good. I found a distance that I can work on now, and I'm just going to keep sitting here and practicing until I kind of get it down. So that was a really good putt. It was a bad spit out on the back end of the basket and went through the cane. Keep getting one in and then missing one. One in and missing one. So we're getting to a point now where I haven't made two in a row at this 28-foot mark yet. So if I keep missing, I'm going to step back to that 25-foot mark and keep working from there and figure out what am I doing wrong. I can figure out from a closer distance and get that motion back. So we'll try again here. That one felt really good. It was nice and straight down. It came up, hit my point, released good. Came off it. definitely getting these putters beat in pretty good. This is the AVR 3. And I really like it. They're thinner than the normal AVR, a little bit more overstable, but they don't have a ton of glide, which there's give and take with glide when it comes to putters, especially when you live in an area like Wisconsin where it's super windy all the time. I'd say there's more windy days or days that are affected by wind than not. And so to have a putter with a lot of glide could be a very detrimental thing, because the wind can play with your disc a lot more. To not have the glide and have it just doing what you're putting on it sometimes can be a benefit. So I've gone back and forth with a lot of different putters, all different types of putters from different manufacturers, and what it comes down to is I like a shallow putter, and I like one that flies fairly straight, but I like one that has integrity to it as well, to where if it is a windy day, it's not just going to completely be manipulated by the wind. So I've been really trying to give these an honest try. I always try to give a new putter an honest try, and they're okay. I'm noticing from these farther distances though, and it's no excuses, but it does feel a little bit more like heavy of a disc, like I'm really having to put a lot of effort to get it to the basket. And again, that's what I gotta do. Hey, when you're bowling, you throw 16-pound balls, right? It's heavy, and but you keep working at it, and it's what you need to get the job done. So keep working at it. So again, I guess you could really say I'm 50-50 from about 30 feet, but the last two putts now I've hit high, which I haven't done that at all earlier. I was always hitting low, and the reason is because I'm intentionally trying to put that extra oomph onto it, so now I'm missing high. A lot of pros will tell you it's better to miss high than low. Not sure how I feel about that. As long as you miss and the disc stops, in my opinion, is good enough. But so me hitting high on the last two putts lets me know that I have made an adjustment, and you can see that result of that adjustment, and that's me putting a little more extra effort into it, and that's a good thing.
Pretty good up there at that fire distance on 50-50. Did you putt? Can you go do a putt? Nice try. Try again. Oh, that was real close. Ball again. Try again. Hey, you did it. Proud of you. Look at the camera. So we got the little guy came out, and so we gotta wrap it up. But I appreciate everyone watching, and do something similar. Put some discs out. Find those comfortable close distances to get the motion, and then push back to those farther distances where it's a little uncomfortable, and work on it from there. And that's how we're gonna keep building up our game here. Love you guys. You got this, and I got you.